Kia ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan. It's Thursday, the 20th of November. Thank you for joining me. We've got a bit of a busy forecast around New Zealand, but not necessarily over us. High pressure is going to be around the edges of the country over the next few days. Subtropical low dropping southwards next week, certainly one to monitor. And we've also got storms in the Southern Ocean. But for now, high pressure is starting to return. And that's why we've got clearer skies in a number of areas. Still a bit of low cloud around parts of the country. And we've obviously got a line of thunderstorms and wet weather moving into the very southwest corner, mostly Fiordland, over the next 24 hours or so. And there's still some energy up to the north. As La Nina continues to build, we are getting close to that being announced at the moment. More low pressure, thunderstorm showers up around the tropics, but you can see clearer skies, drier weather moving into the New Zealand area, and all that rain from the last few days now moving away. Here's the air pressure map for tonight, so not hard to miss all the high pressure around us at the moment. The big high out to the east, low pressure moving away from the Chatham Islands, an area of high pressure over the Tasman Sea, and then the next big high south of Australia. So it's all kind of connected up at the moment, which means the tropical energy stays up there for now, and the stormy stuff south of us also mostly stays away from us for now. It does encourage this windier nor'wester that's going to form tonight in some areas, maybe a little bit breezy through Cook Strait as well. So here is Friday's setup. That wet weather in the southern Tasman Sea moves into Fiordland, southwestland, and a wee bit spills over into Southland and western Otago as well. Around the Lakes District, could be seeing a little bit of wet weather. The polar boundary, still mostly south of New Zealand, but it does come very close, so you might notice your temperatures down a bit in the lower part of the South Island. But if you move further up the country, warmer weather moves on in. And if you look at the temperatures around Canterbury and Hawke's Bay and Waikato and Northland over the next few days, summer temperatures are still with us. And we've also got a subtropical airflow to some degree still moving into parts of New Zealand. High pressure to the east and the west, that is going to create some downpours as we go into the weekend. So let me explain that. We've got a couple of high pressure zones. The main one is west of New Zealand and the other main one is well east of us. There's a little bit of high pressure east of the South Island as well, but it's really this main one to the left and way off to the right. Those are the two big systems, and one pulling down the subtropical airflow, the other one on the Tasman dredging up more of a southerly flow. And between those two systems, right here over Northland, maybe Auckland, Waikato, but the upper North Island, put it that way, that's where you get the convergence, where the two winds meet. Now, high pressure systems, think of them a little bit like lungs. They kind of breathe in and out, and so they get bigger and they get a bit smaller all the time. Every 24 hours that happens. So every bit of movement with each high pressure system can alter exactly where those downpours form. But generally speaking, the upper North Island. Later into the afternoon, chance of some thunderstorms, a wee bit of low pressure through the central part of the country as well. So that could produce a few cloud buildups. Otherwise dry with light winds in most places. And it stays that way into the Sunday as well. The only slight change here, the high pressure zone in the Tasman Sea tilts a wee bit more sort of up and down, and that just pulls in the polar boundary again to the southern part of the country. Nothing major, but you just might notice your temperatures drop a bit as we go through Sunday. But further northwards, we could be seeing a few downpours with maybe some isolated thunderstorms in both islands. And again, these exact areas are very likely to move around a wee bit as we work out exactly the shape of the two big high pressure systems west and east of New Zealand. So let's go into next week now, because we've got a subtropical low, but like I say, high pressure in the New Zealand area, that is going to limit how much energy that subtropical system has. So yes, at the moment on that map, it's a storm north of New Zealand, not a tropical cyclone, not likely because it's sort of moving out of the tropics, but it does have stormy weather around it, some heavy rain in the southern portion, especially the southeastern quadrant of it, right next to Raoul Island. And the high pressure system on either side of the South Island has a wee bit of low pressure in the middle. And so again, convergence, afternoon showers, maybe some morning showers followed by heavier ones into the afternoon. And again, these could move around a wee bit over the coming days. But high pressure is going to cushion that low as it drops southwards. Now that action could make some windier easterlies coming through. Doesn't look too major at this stage on Tuesday. And the low, the air pressure in the middle is actually going up, which means that that low is weakening as it runs into the high pressure belt down here around New Zealand, but it could drive in some wet weather to the northeastern corner of the North Island, also around Northland, Coromandel Peninsula, and all it takes is for that low to move a little bit further southwards and we've got wind and rain in more places. But for now, high pressure looks like it's going to help weaken that system. But as I said at the start of this, we've got, two different things going on as we head towards December and summer. We've got La Nina building, and it may well be announced in the next couple of weeks. Certainly a number of the thresholds have been met for that to be announced. But at the same time, this is this tug-of-war in our atmosphere. We've got this stormier than usual Southern Ocean weather system that drives in westerlies. La Nina tends to drive in easterlies. Two different sets of weather, really. And we've got high pressure in between, which is separating them out. There's a wee bit of high pressure in the Tasman Sea here, despite this very sort of dramatic looking weather map. But I've done it in this way so you can see the two different things that are happening. We've got these lows coming out of the subtropics, which could bring rain, humidity, and more easterlies as we go into December. But at the same time, there's a lot of low pressure and a lot of energy south of Australia and New Zealand. And that does the opposite. That drives in nor'westers and westerly winds, westerly quarter weather. It can drive in cold blasts as well, like the one you see here coming in towards Tassie. And so we've got high pressure in between the two, sort of separating them out. But when we have a gap in the high pressure, that's when we could get one or the other. We could get tropical, subtropical weather coming down, or we could have a Southern Ocean blast coming through. And that's what we might be looking at going into December, a bit of both of those worlds. If high pressure is over us, we may not really notice what's going on north and south of us, but when there are gaps in the high pressure, that's where we've got a few things to monitor. So this one could drive in, at this stage, it looks like rain in the northeast corner of the North Island. Hopefully it goes further down the coastline, but that could drive in some much needed rain for those areas. And then of course, we've got some wet weather building up on the Fiordland side of things, and a bit of wind in between. Nor'westers at the bottom part of the country, possibly southerlies and easterlies at the top part of New Zealand. So definitely a few moving parts as we go into the end of the month. Here's our 7-day rainfall map. You can see that low coming down here, potentially driving in 60 millimeters at this stage. That map is going to change without a doubt because of that low coming down. We're not sure yet how much rain it's going to bring, but that's the current guess. Maybe brushing a little bit of Northland as well. But everywhere else in that purple shading, which is almost the entire North Island, 0 to 5 millimeters. So you'll get one of those downpours. That could break it. But apart from that, the high pressure zones are in charge. And you can also see the northwesterly flow that picks up and the rain that's coming in tonight and tomorrow for Fiordland, and a wee bit of spillover further into the east. Otherwise, things do look fairly dry. So yeah, a lot of moving parts to our weather. Tracking La Nina in the north, tracking the Southern Ocean storms to our south, and we're still getting high pressure systems out of Australia, although it is worth noting that these highs that are coming in aren't lingering very long either. Some of them just zipping through in a couple of days. So everything is moving along at the moment, still spring-like despite the summer temperatures, which have certainly arrived in a number of regions around New Zealand. That's all from me for today. I'll see you again tomorrow, Friday, with our next update going into the weekend and the outlook right across next week. See you then.